Hey everybody. Hopefully the audio is okay this week. Welcome to Quizmister Trivia. Guess that's all we can call it. I usually introduce it with the name of the bar. Please let me know if there are any issues with the audio. I'm right in front of a window, so it's a little echoey. My name's Barry Harkin. I know we have a few new teams because a bunch of people emailed me this week. Welcome. I won't bog you down with too many rules. First thing to say is I'm from Northern Ireland. I pronounce things a little peculiarly. You'll get used to it. There will be 4 rounds of trivia. I'm going to keep the chat to a minimum because presumably you'd rather chat to the people in the room or on your Slack with whatever team you've got. The rules for trivia are very simple. You need to email me your team name at thequizmister@gmail.com right now. Don't change your team name halfway through. It'll get confusing. And if you decide to not play halfway through, drop me an email so I won't read out your answers at the end. Other than that, hope everyone had a wonderful week. It is 3 days till my 40th birthday. Everything's going super. Our rounds this evening, we will have 4 rounds. We will have our Today in History. Our alphabet round, which is 10 questions. All the answers begin with the same letter of the alphabet. Last week was A. This is B. Then there will be a round on fashion and fabrics. And finally, a TV round where you'll have to name the TV show based on a clip and one of the actors in the clip, each for a point. So it'll be worth a ton of points. There's only 2 really hard ones in there. We don't have one of our regular teams this week. That's the Deep Fryers. For the best reason in the world, half of them are currently having a baby and the other half are moving house. I hope those 2 things aren't related too directly. Just to remind everyone, this is free, obviously, to play. But I would strongly encourage you to support the Seattle Hospitality Emergency Fund. The link is above there. They're doing a GoFundMe to support. It's through Wellspring. It's to support out-of-work hospitality workers like bartenders, without whom pub trivia simply wouldn't happen. Couldn't be done. They're terrific, and I just realized it's a chef. Seattle Hospitality Emergency Fund. It's chef. Just got that. So that should tell you, I'm good at writing trivia. I'm not very smart. Those aren't the same things. Being good at trivia isn't the same as being smart, and we'll learn that tonight because some of these questions are going to seem impossibly difficult and some incredibly easy, depending on whether or not you already knew the answer. Don't worry about it. Everyone's getting the same questions and seeing the same clips. I'm going to read the first round, which will be Today in History, in a minute. I will read every question at least twice and as clearly as I can. There will be no repeats at the end, because that would be chaos. If you need a question repeated, feel free to rewind. I'll put a timer on the screen and let you know in between rounds when I'll be back. We'll try and get done by 9, as fast as possible, but we'll make sure all 4 rounds get done, no matter what. Do let me know if there are any technical issues with either my giant weird red cheeks or my weird sibilant voice. Is there any reason to not get started? Let's see. I'm just going to check and make sure I have the team names. Let's see how many we have. All right. Perfect number. I know a couple people are just playing at home with someone on the couch, which works for me because I don't have to score it. Let's not waste any more time. I'm going to have a sip of beer, and we're going to get started. If you haven't already sent your team name to thequizmister@gmail.com, now would be a perfect time to do so. All right. Everyone, all the reflexive things I want to say, like grab a sheet of paper, don't really work anymore. All right, here we go. Round number 1 is Today in History. I'll explain my conventions as we go. Nice and easy. It's not easy for everyone. It's fine. Question number 1. The Coinage Act of 1864 added what words for the first time to American currency? The Coinage, C-O-I-N-A-G-E, the Coinage Act of 1864 added what text for the first time to American currency? For questions like this and with names, I don't care about spelling. Something else you should know. read it phonetically if in any doubt. If I want it spelled correctly, believe me, I'll be the first to tell you. Question number 1 for the last time. The Coinage Act of 1864 added what text for the first time to American currency? One last time. The Coinage Act of 1864 added what text for the first time to American currency? Write down your answers. Question number 2. Other than plastic, what is fiber optic cable most commonly made from? I think it's the only thing it's actually made from, but I hedged my bets there with the question. Other than plastic, what is fiber optic cable made from? I'm also on a 20-second delay, so in the multiple chats that are going on with me, be patient. I am only as God made me, perfect in every way. Question number 2 for the last time. Other than plastic, what is fiber optic cable made from? Question number 3. In what language was the Vladimir Nabokov novel Lolita first published? In what language was the Vladimir Nabokov novel Lolita first published? As I say every week, I would like to have music playing in the background while this goes on, but it would clash with the music you're playing. So play some nice music. Question number 3 for the last time. In what language was the Nabokov novel Lolita first published? And question number 4, super short, so I'll only say it twice. When it comes to the Watergate scandal, what was the Watergate? The question got a whole lot easier with circumstances. But in terms of the Watergate Hotel, what specifically was the Watergate? Question number 5. Question number 5. What nationality was the physicist J. Robert Oppenheimer, who, after witnessing the first atomic weapon, said, "I am become death, destroyer of worlds"? What nationality was the physicist Oppenheimer, J. Robert Oppenheimer, who, after witnessing the first atomic weapon, said, "I am become death, destroyer of worlds"? I just want his nationality. There are no trick questions. It's not going to be, oh, well, that country didn't exist then. Just, it's all good, I promise. Question number 6. In which 2011 movie does Nicolas Cage play an undead criminal who breaks out of hell? In which 2011 movie does Nicolas Cage play an undead criminal who breaks out of hell? He's the only actor in the world. You have to specify the year just in case there was another movie with that plot. Question number 6 again, and for the last time. In which 2011 movie does Nicolas Cage play an undead criminal who breaks out of hell? Question number 7. The 1972 movie Deep Throat is credited as being one of the very first pornographic films to feature what? Question number 7. The 1972 movie Deep Throat is credited as being one of the very first pornographic films to feature what? Question number 8. Which cathedral did Victor Hugo describe as a symphony in stone? Which cathedral did Victor Hugo or Hugo Question number 9. Question number 9. In 1933, Nazi Germany began its persecution of which religion by shutting down the Watchtower Society in Magdeburg? In 1933, Nazi Germany began its persecution of which religion by shutting down the Watchtower Society in Magdeburg? And question number 10, last question of this round. Question 10. In which movie does Barbara Streisand play a woman pretending to be a man? In which movie does Barbara Streisand play a woman pretending to be a man? That's question 10. Do answers get emailed? Yes, they do. If you email them to me at the same address, thequizmister@gmail.com, I will score them in between rounds. We are on schedule for once, so let's very quickly go through the questions of round number 1. Feel free to jump in whenever you like. Question number 1. The Coinage Act of 1864 added what text for the first time to American currency? Question 2. Other than plastic, what is fiber optic cable made from? Question 3. In what language was the Vladimir Nabokov novel Lolita first published? Question 4. What was the Watergate? Question 5. What nationality was the physicist J. Robert Oppenheimer, who, after witnessing the first atomic weapon, said, "I am become death, destroyer of worlds"? Question 6. In which 2011 movie does Nicolas Cage play an undead criminal who breaks out of hell? Question 7. The 1972 movie Deep Throat is credited as being one of the very first pornographic films to feature what? Question 8. Which cathedral did Victor Hugo describe as a symphony in stone? Question 9. In 1933, Nazi Germany began its persecution of which religion by shutting down the Watchtower Society in Magdeburg? And question 10. In which movie does Barbara Streisand play a woman pretending to be a man? I would like you to email your answers in the next 2 or 3 minutes to thequizmister@gmail.com. I'll be back with the answers in round number 2, which will be fabrics and fashion. After that, we will do the TV round and then the letter of the alphabet round, where every answer begins with the same letter. I'm going to cut out here. Feel free to email me if you have any questions, or do so in the chat. Grab a beer. I'll see you in a minute. I'll get the hang of this one of these days, I swear. Hey everybody, I'm back. Um, Please let me know if there's any issues with the video or audio in the chat. My video feed is 20 seconds delayed, but the chat's live. I hope everyone submitted their answers for round number 1, not least of which because it took an extra minute because we have what I can only describe as almost too many teams, which I'm delighted by. So much I'm doing this. Sorry, I'll stop whispering. You have about 10 seconds to send me your answers for round number 1, because I'm about to give you the answers to round number 1. All right, everyone submitted as far as I can tell. Here we go. The answers were: the Coinage Act of 1864 introduced what text to American currency? That was not E pluribus unum. It was In God We Trust. Other than plastic, fiber optic cable is made from glass or silica. In what language was Vladimir Nabokov's novel Lolita first published? English. What was the Watergate? It was a hotel. That's all I was looking for. The nationality of Oppenheimer, who witnessed his own work in the exploding of the first atomic bomb. He's American. He was an American. In which 2011 movie does Nicolas Cage play an undead criminal who breaks out of hell? That should not have been difficult, except it's Nicolas Cage, so it wasn't Ghost Rider. That's Drive Angry, a different film that also exists. The 1972 movie Deep Throat is credited as being one of the very first pornographic films to feature what? 5 teams wrote blowjobs, none of which are correct. 2 teams got it right. It's a plot, an actual narrative structure. It was one of the first theatrically released porno films to have a plot. And very much hard transition, hard cut to the Nazis began persecuting which religion with the destruction of the Watchtower Society in Magdeburg. That's the Jehovah's Witnesses. And finally, Barbra Streisand plays a woman pretending to be a man in Yentl or Yenta. Round number 2, I believe I said, was on fabrics and fashions. The theme is fabrics and fashions. There's no trick to it. Start a new document. Please remember to write your team name at the top. 2 teams didn't, but I have your email address, so it wasn't difficult to work out. So let's go to round number 2 on fabrics and fashions. Question number 1. What name is given to a fine cashmere shawl? The name coming from Urdu and Persian. What name is given to a fine cashmere shawl? Its name coming from Urdu and Persian. Pronounce that BBC style with Urdu. To get away from the wet mouth sounds, I apologize immensely. Question number 1 for the last time. What name is given to a fine cashmere shawl? The name coming from Urdu and Persian. Question number 2. In 1977, Yves Saint Laurent released a fragrance named after which illegal narcotic? In 1977, Yves Saint Laurent, or YSL, released a fragrance named after which narcotic? Which illegal narcotic? Put my Clever Duns hoodie on, where I started hosting trivia in America. Question number 2 for the last time. In 1977, Yves Saint Laurent released a fragrance named after which illegal narcotic? If this round and the last round seem difficult to you, you're wrong. No team got lower than a 5 out of a 10 question round last round. It's annoyingly close, and there's too many teams. I love it. Couldn't be happier. What name is given to the 4,000-mile long series of trade routes between China and the Mediterranean that began around 206 BCE? What name is given to the 4,000-mile-long series of trade routes between China and the Mediterranean that began around 206 BC? Question number 3 for the last time. What name is given to the 4,000-mile long series of trade routes between China and the Mediterranean, beginning around 206 BC? Question 4. Legendary movie director Ed Wood was sexually aroused by sweaters made from which material derived from a rabbit? Legendary movie director Ed Wood was sexually aroused by sweaters made from what material derived from a rabbit? Question number 5. Egyptian mummies were wrapped in which material, famous for its ability to breathe and to help you remain cool in warm weather? Question 5. Egyptian mummies were wrapped in which material, famous for its ability to breathe and to help one remain cool in warm weather? Just need the name of the fabric. Question number 6. Before marrying, which New York fashion designer was born Catherine Brosnan, spelled Brosnahan? Before marrying, which New York fashion designer was born Catherine Brosnan, spelled Brosnahan? That's Brosnahan. Cookies. Sorry, I have dogs. They're wonderful. Last time, question number 6. Before marrying, which New York fashion designer was born Catherine Brosnan or Catherine Brosnahan? Question number 7. Known in some places as clam diggers, what kind of pants were introduced in 1948 and named for an Italian island? Known in some places as clam diggers, what kind of pants were introduced in 1948 and named for an Italian island? Question number 8. Question 8. Because the dye comes from a very specific plant, traditional blue jeans are actually what shade of blue? Because the dye comes from a specific plant, blue jeans are actually what shade of blue? Question number 9. Question number 9. Similar to a Nehru, Nehru, what kind of collar shares its name with a famous supervillain enemy of Tony Stark? This was a lot harder a question when I wrote it. Question number 9. Similar to a Nehru, what kind of collar shares its name with a famous supervillain enemy of Tony Stark? That's collar. C-O-L-L-A-R is what I'm saying there. Question number 9 for the last time. Similar to a Nehru, what kind of collar shares its name with a famous supervillain enemy of Tony Stark? And question 10, the last question of this round. Jade, Chloe, Sasha, and Yasmin were the first 4 of which children's fashion doll line? Question 10. Jade, Chloe, Sasha, and Yasmin were the first 4 members of which children's fashion doll line? All right, we have plenty of time, so I'm going to very quickly run through those questions and spell anything that I think I may have mispronounced. So here we go. Question number 1. What name is given to a fine cashmere shawl, the name coming from Urdu and Persian? Number 2. In 1977, Yves Saint Laurent released a fragrance named after which illegal narcotic? Question 3. What name is given to the 4,000-mile long series of trade routes between China and the Mediterranean beginning around 206 BC? Question 4. Legendary movie director Ed Wood was sexually aroused by sweaters made from which material? Derived from a rabbit. Question 5. Egyptian mummies were wrapped in which material, famous for its ability to breathe and help you remain cool in warm weather? Question 6. Before marrying, which New York fashion designer was born Catherine Brosnan or Catherine Brosnahan? Question 7. Known in some places as clam diggers, what kind of pants were introduced in 1948 and named for an Italian island? Question 8. Because the dye comes from a particular plant, blue jeans are actually what shade of blue? Because the dye comes from a particular plant, traditional blue jeans are actually what shade of blue? Question 9. Similar to a Nehru collar, what kind of collar shares its name with a famous supervillain enemy of Tony Stark? And finally, Jade, Chloe, Sasha, and Yasmin were the first 4 members of which children's fashion doll line? Go ahead and email your answers to thequizmister@gmail.com, along with any suggestions for rounds you may have for next week. I'll be back with the answer to that, the video round, and any other questions and comments and blah, 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 blah. Thank you so much, and I will be right back. except you already did submit all your answers, and then some. We currently have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 teams playing. No one got none, and 2 people got a perfect round for fashion and fabric. So let's quickly get to the answers for that. Then I'm going to cut out for about 30 seconds at exactly 8 p.m. because of reasons. So here are the answers to fabrics and fashions. Question number 1, the name given to a fine cashmere shawl, its name coming from Urdu and Persian, is pashmina. A lot of real interesting spellings about that. Doesn't matter. I write it phonetically, you get the point for something vaguely resembling pashmina. Yves Saint Laurent, 1977, released the perfume Opium. I was looking for opium, not cocaine or any of the many things you wrote. The name of the 4,000-mile-long trade route I was referring to was the Silk Road. Ed Wood was sexually aroused by sweaters made from Angora. Egyptian mummies were traditionally wrapped in linen. I was looking for linen for number 5. Number 6, before marrying, the New York fashion designer Catherine Brosnan is now known as Kate Spade, which is why I kept doing this with New York. Kate Spade. Known in some regions, some places as clam diggers, what kind of pants were introduced in 48 and named for an Italian island? Capris, or capri. Because the dye comes from a specific plant, blue jeans are actually what shade of blue? They are indigo. Indigo. Similar to a Nehru, what kind of collar shares its name with a famous supervillain enemy of Tony Stark? Couldn't accept Magneto, but I really wanted to. It's Mandarin. It's a Mandarin collar. And finally, Jade, Chloe, Sasha, and Yasmin were the first 4 in the Bratz line of dolls. So Bratz was the answer. The next round is, as with all my video rounds, slightly more complicated than it needs to be. So here's what you need to do. Name the TV show. I'm going to show you 10 clips of TV shows. And all I want is for 1 point, name the TV show. For a bonus point, name any actor that appears in that clip. Any actor that appears in that clip. In fact, after those 10 play, another 10 clips will play of the same 10 shows. So you'll get another chance to name the same shows. And you'll get an extra point if you just name any actor that appears in the clip. Best bet is to name the most famous actor in the clip. It's not a trick. If you name the most famous, it means I'm not going to have to check IMDb to find out if the guy in the background really is Philip Seymour Hoffman. It isn't. So, 1 point for the name of the show, 1 point for the name of any actor in that clip. Again, you're going to get 2 different clips, so you get 2 chances to get 2 points for each TV show. There is a theme connecting the TV shows, which I won't tell you, but it doesn't matter. It's not worth points. But among yourselves, you can be the first one to go, oh, that's the thing. So hopefully everyone understands that it's, I'm going to play it the whole way through, probably just once, maybe twice. We shall see. 10 and add. So write the name of the TV show, and then right next to it, the name of any actor that appears in those clips. I only care about the last name of the actor as well. I couldn't make it more simple because the editing was hard. Hopefully you enjoy it. 10 TV shows. There is a theme. It's not worth anything. Hopefully this works. If there are any issues with the video or the audio, message me in the chat and I can adjust it that way. I can't do it if you do it any other way. Alright guys, hopefully this works. Grab your pen because it's going to cut straight into it. And hopefully I've set this up correct.
Hey, can we have some corner in the theater, please? What's next, Scooter?
Oh, you'll love this, boss. This is what we're up against. 4 more years of a president chosen by people like her. She has an iPad subscription to The New Yorker. She vehemently opposes the ivory trade despite the jobs it creates. And in her apartment, there was a black and white photograph where you can almost see a breast.
How can so much noise come out of one nose?
Maybe if we close it.
Nah, then the noise would just come out of his mouth.
We're talking about a program. Who wants to book a vacation? No one, right?
No.
Who wants to think about where they're going? Who wants to call up a hotel, go online?
That sounds like a lot of hassle to me.
Exactly. It is a lot of hassle, but not anymore.
If you want 10 days, all you have to do is vacation at one of 3 resorts that we have predetermined for you.
Resort? Like a resort? It's a resort in the greater Tampa metropolitan area.
Wow.
Wow. Yeah.
It's a song title. First word. Over. A beat. Pat. Crush. Destroy. What? Oh, second word. Okay, second. Little word. Small. Petty. Hypocritical. Two-faced. That's the song title? The second word is petty, two-faced. You can do the whole thing. The whole thing. Okay.
1, 2, 3. He's banal and facile. He's a fat waste of space. See his pop nose face. Pop, 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 pop again. See his pop nose face. Yeah. Pop, pop, pop.
I can't get a decent satellite signal from Buenos Aires.
Excuse me, ma'am. That's probably because of a high-pressure system building up around 32 degrees south latitude. It'll blow by in 2 hours.
There's weather in outer space?
No, ma'am. But I think you're leasing time on the East Tech Keyhole satellite, and their signal gets cleared through a tracking station in Mexico City.
Yeah, but the point I'm making is that I can't... Who is this?
I'm Jeremy Goodwin.
Oh, you're here for the associate producer job.
Yes, and let me just say that it is an extraordinary honor to even be asked.
I'm not ready for you yet.
Right here.
You know, Hank, I was just wondering why you say that "hey now" thing.
What do you mean?
Well, it's just something that you used on the show, and now you're starting to use it in your personal life, and it's an affectation of some sort, isn't it? Did you ever say "hey now" as a kid?
No, I don't. I probably didn't.
Huh?
But I said, hey.
Yeah.
Now I'm no longer doubtful of what I'm living for. And if I make you happy, I don't need to do more. 'Cause you make me feel.
I'm Elton, the painter.
You scared the hell out of me!
I gotta tell you, you were getting much better at the end.
How's Stone?
Stone's gonna be fine, sis. But you're the one Mom and Dad are worried about.
I left the game the minute I heard. I mean, how can I lead a cheer knowing my best friend's in the hospital? Thanks.
But, sweetheart, the doctor told us there was a baby.
Well,
Well, you certainly couldn't disagree.
No, I don't disagree with that, except maybe on a couple of points there.
Which ones are those, Bill?
Rob.
Yes, I know. I met your lovely wife.
Hi, Rico. I just got back with that delicious Arby's you asked me to get.
Thanks for the Arby's one.
I'm clean, man.
I'm gonna have
clean.
to check it out.
Check all you want, okay? Check other places.
This is probably what he would do.
Okay, don't. Hey, Trudy. Okay, we get it. Okay.
You look great. Thanks. So do you. I mean,
Appreciate
whatever
it.
you're doing. You working out?
A little bit. Would it be imposing to ask you if you would do the show?
I'm glad that you finally asked me.
The new executive producer.
Wait. They replaced Arvin with you? You're Miles Silverberg?
Yes. Miles Silverberg. And let me just say what a big fan I am.
You know who the Shirelles are?
Excuse me?
The Shirelles? The Ronettes, the Delphonics?
It's only my second day.
You know, a friend of mine once said, They said I'll never be happy because I'll never be famous enough. And they were right. And if you're watching this, I'm so sorry. You're my best friend. You're my only friend. And you never did anything wrong. It was everything else. I'll never do that again. I'll never treat you like that again.
One last thing. The first and last decision-making authority on this show will rest with Isaac Jaffe until Isaac Jaffe says otherwise. And if you disrespect him in my presence again, I will rededicate the rest of my life to ruining the rest of yours. And if you think I'm just mouthing at you, you should ask around about me. I have absolutely no conscience about these things.
Sam, why did you bring us out here?
Because there's the exit. That's it.
That's it. It's all over. What a night.
Does that mean we can all go home?
Yeah, it sure does, Steve. Listen, I hope you're not mad that we canceled the show.
All right, does anyone need that repeated? If so, say so in the chat, because if you don't, I'm not gonna. Once again, just name the show, one of the shows. There's 10 of them in total for 10 points. And then name any one actor that appears in the clip for another 10 points. They don't need to be in order. They just need to be together, the show and the actor. Okay, Cam died. Were there any issues with the video or audio earlier on with the video, or did it, for most people, did it transition okay? Sorry, I've got 3 different feeds. Pardon me. Okay. I'm going to play the video one more time from the top. By the time it's done, I would like you to email me at thequizmister@gmail.com your answers for that round. And the final round will be our alphabet round. Every answer will begin with the letter B for Bravo. Alright, let's try that again. I'm going to play the video again. By the time it's done, I'll be back with the final, well, with the answers, the scores up to this point maybe, and the final round.
Hey, can we have some quiet out there in the theater, please? What's next, Scooter?
Oh, you'll love this, boss.
This is what we're up against. 4 more years of a president chosen by people like her. She has an iPad subscription to The New Yorker. She vehemently opposes the ivory trade despite the jobs it creates. And in her apartment, there was a black and white photograph where you can almost see a breast.
How can so much noise come out of one nose?
Maybe if we close it.
Nah, then the noise would just come out of his mouth.
We're talking about a program. Who wants to book a vacation? No one, right? No. Who wants to think about where they're going? Who wants to call up a hotel, go online?
That sounds like a lot of hassle to me.
Exactly. It is a lot of hassle, but not anymore.
If you want 10 days, all you have to do is vacation at one of 3 resorts that we have predetermined for you.
Resort? Like a resort?
It's a resort in the greater Tampa metropolitan area.
Wow.
Wow. Yeah.
It's a song title. First word. Over. A beat. Pat. Brush. Destroy. What? Oh, second word. Okay, second. Little word. Small. Petty. Hypocritical. Two-faced. That's the song title? The second word is petty, two-faced. You can do the whole thing. The whole thing. Okay.
1, 2, 3. He's banal and facile. He's a fat waste of space. See his pop nose face. Pop, 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 pop. Again. See his pop nose face. Yeah. Pop, pop, pop.
I can't get a decent satellite signal from Buenos Aires.
Excuse me, ma'am. That's probably because of a high-pressure system building up around 32 degrees south latitude. It'll blow by in 2 hours.
There's weather in outer space?
No, ma'am. But I think you're leasing time on the East Tech Keyhole satellite, and their signal gets cleared through a tracking station in Mexico City.
Yeah, but the point I'm making is that I can't. Who is this?
I'm Jeremy Goodwin.
Oh, you're here for the associate producer job.
Yes, and let me just say that it is an extraordinary honor to even be asked.
I'm not ready for you yet.
You know, Hank, I was just wondering why you say that "hey now" thing.
What do you mean?
Well, it's just something that you used on the show, and now you're starting using it in your personal life, and it's an affectation of some sort, isn't it? Did you ever say "hey now" as a kid?
No, I don't. I probably didn't.
Huh?
But I said, hey.
Yeah.
Now I'm no longer doubtful of what I'm living for. And if I make you happy, I don't need to do more. 'Cause you make me feel.
I'm Elton, the painter.
You scared the hell out of me!
I gotta tell you, you were getting much better at the end.
How's Stone?
Stone's gonna be fine, sis. But you're the one Mom and Dad are worried about.
I left the game the minute I heard. I mean, how could I lead a cheer knowing my best friend's in the hospital? Thanks.
But, sweetheart, the doctor told us there was a baby.
Surely you can see that. Well,
Well, you certainly couldn't disagree.
No, I don't disagree with that, except maybe on a couple of points there.
Which ones are those, Bill?
But Rob.
Yes, I know. I met your lovely wife.
Hi, Rico. I just got back with that delicious Arby's you asked me to get.
Thanks for the Arby's one.
I'm clean, man.
I'm gonna have
clean.
to check it out.
Check all you want, okay? Check other places.
This is probably what he would do.
Okay, don't. Hey, Trudy. Okay. Okay, we get it. Okay.
You look great. Thanks. So do you. I mean,
Appreciate it.
whatever you're doing.
Yeah.
You working out?
A little bit. Would it be imposing to ask you if you would do the show?
I'm glad that you finally asked me.
The new executive producer.
Wait. They replaced Arvin with you? You're Miles Silverberg?
Yes, Miles Silverberg. And let me just say what a big fan I am.
You know who the Shirelles are.
Excuse me?
The Shirelles? The Ronettes, the Delphonics?
It's only my second day.
You know what a friend of mine once said? They said, I'll never be happy because I'll never be famous enough. And they were right. And if you're watching this, I'm so sorry. You're my best friend. You're my only friend. And you never did anything wrong. There was everything else. I'll never do that again. I'll never treat you like that again.
One last thing. The first and last decision-making authority on this show will rest with Isaac Jaffe until Isaac Jaffe says otherwise. And if you disrespect him in my presence again, I will rededicate the rest of my life to ruining the rest of yours. And if you think I'm just mouthing at you, you should ask around about me. I have absolutely no conscience about these things.
Sam, why did you bring us out here?
Because there's the exit. That's it.
That's it. It's all over. What a night.
Does that mean we can all go home?
Yeah, it sure does, Steve. Listen, I hope you're not mad that we canceled the show.
And we're back, and I should definitely have muted that. Hey, so, the TV round, I was a little worried about being too difficult. I was wrong. Everyone got at least 15 points out of a possible 20, and no one got that one right, so the one you're thinking of. I'll go quickly through the answers, and then we'll do the final round, which will be 10 questions whose answers begin with the letter B. That should be a nice one to round it out. The shows were as follows, in the order they first appeared. Doesn't matter what order your answers were in, so long as the actor name made sense. The first one was The Muppet Show. Oh, I should say, the theme that connects all of these shows, no one put it in their email, nor should you have. It wasn't worth any points, but they're all TV shows about making TV shows. So that was the theme. Number one, The Muppet Show, which I accepted Steve Martin, I accepted Jim Henson, I accepted Henson, but it's The Muppets. I would have accepted Kermit the Frog and Scooter, just so you know. It's The Muppets. There are rules. Number two is the one I referred to that no one got the name of the show. That's a show about a bunch of actors who are making a terrible soap opera like One Tree Hill, but not One Tree Hill. It's Grosse Pointe. The name of the show and the show within the show are both Grosse Pointe. As far as the name of any of the actors in it, you could have just written the names that appear on the in the credits that I showed you, which 5 teams did not do. Lindsay Sloan right there on the screen. Next up was Alec Baldwin and Tina Fey in 30 Rock. Next was Home Improvement. I accepted both the answers. Tim Allen and JTT. I did not accept Tim Taylor. That's a character in the show. It's very not confusing. Number 5 was Reno 911. Almost everyone named Aziz Ansari as the guy who yells out. There was also Paul Scheer, Thomas Lennon, and a few other great actors in there. Next up, number 6 was The Dick Van Dyke Show. All but one person who put down The Dick Van Dyke Show did not put down Dick Van Dyke as the actor and instead put Mary Tyler Moore, which made me super happy for I don't know why. Number 7 was not The Office. That's the follow-up to The Office, Extras, a show about making TV shows. So I accepted Ricky Gervais or David Bowie for that one. Next up was... Oh, this team actually got it wrong. Sports Night with Felicity Huffman and William H. Macy were the 2 actors you would have recognized from that. Oh, and Josh Molina, of course, as well. Number 9 was The Larry Sanders Show with Gary Shandling. One team reversed those, and it took me a while to work out if I should accept it, and I did. But I shouldn't have, and my brain hurts. And finally, number 10, the last TV show about TV shows, was Murphy Brown. And Candice Bergen was the main actress you would have seen or recognized in any of those. The final round, grab a... not a sheet of paper. I'll get out of the habit soon. The final final questions, every answer begins with the same letter of the alphabet. That letter is today B for Bravo. Next week it'll be C for Charlie. But in the meantime, here we go. I'll repeat every question at least twice. There'll be no repeats at the end because this is the last round. For most people, it's the most difficult. Probably not today because I've seen the scores. Question number 1. Which European nation has its capital in Sofia? S-O-F-I-A. Question number 1. Which European nation has its capital in Sofia? Question number 2. Name the French nemesis of Indiana Jones in the movie Raiders of the Lost Ark. It wasn't called Indiana Jones and the Raiders of the Lost Ark until much later. Name the French nemesis of Indiana Jones in the movie Raiders of the Lost Ark. It does also appear in the TV show. So I want the last name, starting with B for Bravo, of the French nemesis of Indiana Jones in Raiders of the Lost Ark. Question number 3. With which musical instrument is the great John Entwistle most closely associated? With which musical instrument is the great John Entwistle, E-N-T-W-H-I-S-T-L-E, most closely associated. Question number 4. In which organ of the human body would you find the trochlear nerve and the pons? In which organ of the human body would you find the trochlear nerve, Trochlear, and the pons, Pons? That's P for Peter. Question number 5. What B word can mean a cheerful elf or a popular baked good? What word means both a cheerful elf, and a popular baked good? Once again, all of these answers begin with the same letter. Question number 6. Name the 2006 movie which starred Samuel L. Jackson and Christina Ricci. Question 6. Name the 2006 movie which starred Samuel L. Jackson and Christina Ricci. Question number 7. What name is given to the method of cooking with both moist and dry heat, and first searing the food at a high temperature and finishing the cooking in a covered pot with liquid? So from the top again, what name is given to the method of cooking with both moist and dry heat, by first searing the food at high temperature and finishing the cooking in a covered pot with liquid? One word answer will do it. Starts with the letter B. Speaking of which, question number 8. Before we do that, I must remind you again, this is free. I'm happy to do it. I love it. I genuinely enjoy it. But any donation you could make to this GoFundMe would delight me immensely. Not least of which because, as I say, this is pub trivia. I'm trying to keep it as close to pub trivia as possible. Any money you would normally tip at the end of a night, put it up there. And if that's in single digits, that's not me. Question number 8. Which element in the periodic table of elements has atomic number 5 and is not found naturally on Earth? Last I checked. Which element in the periodic table of elements has the atomic number of 5 and is not found naturally on Earth? I'm going to guess that comment, Kit, is about never mind. There's another. When he moves swiftly along, everything's groovy. Question number 9. Question number 9, which word can mean both a shoe and an accent? Which word can mean both a shoe, kind of shoe, and a kind of accent? Not looking at the chat anymore. And question number 10. I'm going to read through all the questions again nice and quickly right at the end of this. After I'm done, you'll have about 3 minutes to submit your answers, and I'll be back in 10 with the final answers, score, and positions, who won. If you would like to suggest any rounds in the future, let me show you something very quickly. Let me scoot back here 1 second. Pardon me. Competitive, I'll tell you that. So I'm going to show you, let me see if I can share this. I sure can. This is my Google Drive, actually my OneDrive, my Microsoft Drive that contains every round I've ever written or at least since about 2009. So if you could suggest something that's scrolling down your screen, again, it starts numerically, obviously, and then it kind of freezes up because there's a lot of files in there. Let's get past the numerical ones, shall we? There we go. You've got Brad Pitt, people named Brian, Bruckheimer, Tim Burton, cartoon characters, serial mascots, colors, common misconceptions. That's a terrible run. It's one of the worst I've ever written. Disney, fabrics and fashions we just did, fictional killers. These are not all the runs I've written. This is from a folder called Best Of, and we're still at the J's case. So anything you can suggest that is either new and I've never thought of would delight me. Anything I've already done, hey, I can just grab the old version from a decade ago, update it with any changes when countries change their names. Other than that, I will be back. You know, technically you could just rewind this and go through all of the rounds, just pick your favorite one, and if you told me which one you wanted it to be, it would be that, because it would save me making a decision. Next week we will have a Today in History round and a C for Charlie round, and whatever weird video thing I decide to edit. I enjoy editing them. I hope you're enjoying them as well. Just realized that's not on the screen. Well, this is what I thought you were looking at. It looks like everyone submitted their answers. So here are all of the rounds I have in my best of folder. Alright, I will be back in, let's say, in a tight 5. Oh, yeah, that's what I'm doing now. Sorry about that, technical issues. It's not like I do a lot of this streaming. This is only my 4th time. Enjoyed it immensely. What was number 10? Well, I mean, it depends what order you were looking at it in, but 10 from the back end was The Muppet Show, and 10 the other side was something else. I'll have a look. That's every run. Alright, I'll be back in 5 minutes. Oh, is there no 10th question? I apologize. I just realized what you meant, and I apologize immensely. There is a 10th question. So sorry. Ah, for fuck's sake. Well, there's the scores, guys. I knew it was a mistake to try and share my browser. Boop. Alright, let's move swiftly along. I'm sorry for that. I accidentally flashed the answers. Thank God this is free. There's not much I can do about it. Submit your answers. I'm very sorry. It serves me right for trying to show you what they suggest for runs for next week. I'm going to ignore the chat. It is what it is. Submit your answers. I'll be back in 5. I'd have Hey everyone, I've sequestered myself down for my crimes of flashing answers. You didn't get a question 10 because I flashed the answers and had to cut it out real quick. We have the final answers, scores, and positions. Your final nag to go to that address and donate any money you have to spare. If you are a hospitality worker yourself, of course, don't. That would defeat the entire purpose. Here are the answers to the final round, the B round. B for Bravo. The European country that has its capital in Sofia is Bulgaria. The French nemesis of Indiana Jones in Raiders of the Lost Ark is Belloc or Belosh. John Entwistle is most closely associated with the bass as a musical instrument. The organ in which you would find the trochlear nerve and the pons is the brain. I'm just looking for the brain. The word that could mean both a cheerful elf and a baked good is a brownie, B-R-O-W-N-I-E. Didn't really care about the spelling. That's just so you understand what I'm saying. The 2006 movie I was looking for was Samuel L. Jackson and Christina Ricci as Black Snake Moan. And you're right, chat. It is shit. What name is given to the method of cooking I described that uses both moist and dry heat? I was looking for braise. It's a braise, not a broil. The element with the atomic number 5 not found naturally on Earth is boron, B-O-R-O-N. The word that can mean both a shoe and an accent is a brogue. And the question 10 that you didn't get to see was what name was given to the ancient Roman weapon which resembled a huge mounted crossbow? Correct, nerds. It's a ballista. All right, here are the final scores in reverse order out of a possible 11 teams. Thank you so much. Wait, I'm a liar. Yep, 11th team, which means in 11th place with 33 points. Already dead inside. With 34 points. Next up, our football practice with 35 points. Are the COVIDiots. Congratulations on really not even close to last place. Wait to hear how tight it gets. Because next up is with 37 points. Nope 2020. With 38 points in joint, I'm going to say 6th place, are the teams at Gross Bologna Sandwich and All By Myself. 39 points to 5 on it. With 40 points in 4th place are the Illuminated Donkeys. In the 3rd place, there's only 1 point between 4th, actually, most of the last positions. In 4th place, Illuminated Donkeys. In 3rd place, with 41 points, the Flying Wahlbergs. In 2nd place, with 42 points, is Mel, the Notorious P.I.G. with 42 points, which means in 1st place with just 43 points is Tintin Quarantino. You're the winner. You've won nothing but the shame and ignominy. I will see you next week. Please feel free to suggest any rounds you might like. Yes, it's silent running, and it's spectacular. Until then, do good, be safe, and I will see you next week.